YouTube, it's Tracy from Entrepreneur Girl, and today is Tracy's Tuesday Tips, and we're going to be talking about moving your business to the next level. So if you are currently using retail arbitrage, this video is for you because we're going to be talking about maximizing your inventory in the least amount of time possible. Aw, I'm super bummed. I videotaped out here because there was an eagle at the pond. I don't know if you can see it. And he left when I went inside. So I guess we're just videotaping out here just because it's different now. But I really wanted to show you that because how often do you get to see a bald eagle? So sorry, I missed it. I took too long. All right, so back to the video. So last night I did a meetup with Jason from Prof Sales. So thank you, Jason, for having me on your YouTube channel. And my internet was awful. Unfortunately, being here on an island, the internet is just always awful, which is why I have a plan B with my cell phone hotspot, but even that wasn't working last night. So my apologies for the quality of it getting interrupted all the time, but if you would like to pop over there and see what we talked about, I'm going to put the link down below. But one of the things that we covered or that I talked about was the 6 P's of entrepreneurship. And we talked about passion, which most of us have because we're very passionate about working for ourselves and having that flexibility. Then we talked about path, really knowing where you're going and what you're wanting to achieve so that you know how to get there. You know what steps to incorporate in order to get there. Then we talked about being positive and how to try to maintain that positive outlook and not getting into comparisons or getting into, feeling defeated or making excuses for ourselves. Then we talked about people, surrounding yourself with positive people that wouldn't bring you down or tear you down, but that would support you and encourage you. Also people that are maybe more advanced than you are so that you can learn from them and pull along to that next level. Then we talked about perseverance, and that's sticking through the hard times because it's going to suck and it's going to get messy, but you need to learn that that's part of it and not to be deterred or to quit every single time you hit a bump in the road. And the last thing was productivity, which is what I want to talk to you about today. So for most of us that have been reselling for a while, you kind of get to a point in a journey where you realize that you've kind of maxed out what you're currently doing, your current business model, and there's a need for some adapting, some changes, or incorporating some other things. And my personal example to this is that I started with retail arbitrage, as you know, and I started with garage selling and thrift stores, which I still love. But what I was doing before was I was garage selling all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and then I was listing those items through the week. Well, I have a lot of kids, and a house to take care of and a lot of other responsibilities. In addition, Amazon is only part of how I make an online income. I do other things. I have a website, I coach, I have stock trading, I do eBay, and I have to allocate my time accordingly. So for me, prioritizing is very important, but productivity is extremely important. How can I maximize the hours that I'm working for my Amazon business? You have only so many hours in the day to source and to list. You have maybe only so many brick and mortar stores in your geographical area. I have a lot of people that message me that live in remote locations and they just don't have a lot of places. Or maybe you just want to kick it up a notch and make additional money. I'm all about productivity and finding the best methods, the best tools to make things as fast as possible. I'm also pretty thrifty, so I don't like to invest a lot of money in different tools or different gimmicks. I like to make sure, research and make sure they're pretty solid. Making sure that they work. So sometimes I'll tell you that I hate things. Sometimes I love them, but I don't want to spend the money on them, and I'll tell you that. Sometimes I decided a middle of the road was where I wanted to stay, and I'll show you what I'm using. Sometimes I'm just exploring things like I am currently. I'm exploring new tools and new programs because there's been a slew of them out there lately, and a lot of people are asking about them. Okay, so retail arbitrage, if you're doing it, is the process of buying an item for a lower price, then you can sell it on an online platform like Amazon or eBay. Here is a list of ideas for retail arbitrage. Now with garage sales and thrift stores, I love doing that. I think it's a really good place to start. I know some people disagree with me, but that's how I started, and I can only speak of my experience, and I loved it. It's very low risk, very high profit margin. You know, this truly is the place where you can buy a board game for $1 and sell it for $50. I mean, the profit margin is just ridiculous. Currently doing retail arbitrage, you might find yourself in a similar situation where it's great as an element to not have the exact same products that other people are having, because you're going to have different items in a thrift store than someone else is going to have in their thrift stores or garage sales. I also think it's great for part-timers. I think it's great for beginners, college students, stay-at-home moms. I think it's a great entry place, and honestly, it's something that I will always do just because it's fun. You're in a place where you have more time than you have money to invest in inventory. This is a great area for you to start. But we have a whole series on beginners. So if you're interested in that playlist, I'll just put the link down below and you can just kind of click through the videos and watch what interests you. But if you've been there and done that, and now you're ready for something else, this is what we're talking about today. The next step is maybe you've moved up and you've tried different things like the big box stores. Maybe you're at Kohl's or Walmart or Big Lots. Maybe you've tried auctions, estate sales, all of that next level stuff. Well, I like that too. I shopped clearances, I shopped the retail stores, I still do that. But now I'm a little bit pickier about when I go. And these are when I go to retail stores. Okay, but the problem is that I have to take the time to drive, the wear and tear on my car, the gas. It's very time consuming to scan a gazillion items in a store to try to find the items that are going to be of lower rank and higher profit margin, which is over that $10 to $15 limit. That matches all our parameters of the 3 times rule, low competition, all of that. It takes you the whole day to do this, and then by the time you get home, you're too tired to list it. So you have to list on separate days. And I think I'm pretty fast at listing. I mean, I don't know what the average is, but I'm at about 40 items per hour that I can list on Amazon, and then it takes me about another hour to, clean the items, polybag them if I need to, label them, put them in a box, and ship off the box. So I'm about 2 hours per 40 items. If I've done that, essentially, I didn't have any other time to work on any of my other businesses. Maxed out my time, I've maxed out my potential profit. So now what? Now what do I do to move forward? I still do all of that stuff we just talked about, but I've added to it. I'm now more interested in buying in bulk instead of buying one item at a time, because it's the one item at a time that you have to find and you have to list and you have to create a new listing for, or find a listing, and all of that takes time. Versus if I could find something in bulk, I have 50 items under the same SKU, maybe it's a book sale and I was able to buy 300 books in the same 30 minutes, whatever it is like that, that's more what I'm focused on now. Next step to kind of move in that direction for us would be online arbitrage and wholesale. With that comes private label discussions. I've done videos on private label and wholesale and online arbitrage. But this video is going to kind of hit it again and start a playlist that we can be going through to, like, where do you go to online arbitrage? What are you looking for? How do you do it? and kind of see it in action. Whys are pretty obvious. Saves us time. That's the big one. Saves wear and tear on your vehicle. I can easily do it if my husband's around or my kids are around or my mom's around because it's online. It's 24/7. If I need to wait till the end of my day and put the kids to bed, maybe I've had a busy day with some of my other business stuff and I'm only getting around to it 24/7, so that's pretty nice. Not restricted by your geographical area. Even if you're in an area that's great and has lots of stores, you're still limited to the inventory that those stores house. A lot of stores up north that I don't have access to here. So when it comes to your house, you get all the boxes and all the packing that it came in, and basically you're just repackaging it and sending it on to Amazon, but all those boxes and packaging you can reuse. So you don't have to buy them and you don't have to go out looking for them. Warnings about this would be the lower profit margin, but I'm going to give you some tricks to kind of help you with that. The next step of wholesale. Say you're out retail arbitraging at your local Walmart, and you find a product that you like, you're scanning it, and you like what you see. It's like, okay, you know, this would be a good product for me to sell perhaps repeatedly. A lot of times, if you look on bottom of the box, it will tell you the manufacturer's name or website. Take a picture of it with your smartphone so that you don't forget, because you will forget. And when you get home, send a letter to that manufacturer or distributor. Here's an example of a letter you could use. Bit, but most times you hear back from these companies. You can start negotiating with them. Second way to check out wholesaling is to go to a wholesale merchandise mart. You might know these by, they're also called design centers or gift marts. Google those, see if there's one by you, and go and check it out. It's basically like walking into a retail store, but you have reps set up from all these different manufacturers and distributors. In the third place that you can check out wholesaling, of course, is the wholesale trade shows. Everybody knows about this, but if you don't, Google that. There are different kinds. There's a generalized or a specialized. So if you're not really sure, or if you don't really have a niche, go to the generalized ones, because that's more of just, you know, a variety of products. If you're pretty zeroed in on a niche, then look up wholesale trade shows specifically for that type of a product. Label, as you've heard me talk about, is kind of along the same gist. There's a product that I like, a product that maybe I think I can manipulate to have a better listing or maybe a better feature, and that way, instead of having to run out of stock and go out and try to find new inventory, when my stock gets low, I just place an order, which takes me just a few moments, and then it comes, and then I have new inventory in Amazon. The whole process is streamlined so much more effectively. I can have the same products over and over and over again. But today we're going to zero in on online arbitrage, because looking over my videos, I feel this is probably the least that I've talked about. I feel that this is the topic that I've talked about least. Okay, you know what I'm saying. And I wanted to maybe create a playlist just talking about online arbitrage, because I have people that I'm working with now that really need to utilize online arbitrage, either because of their health conditions, because of their living conditions, because of their work, you know, they have a full-time job already, and online arbitrage just fits their lifestyle better. So it got me thinking that I really need to be also teaching this on the YouTube channel so that you could be considering this as a viable option. Maybe you're in this position that I'm talking about where you want to grow and expand, and online arbitrage is a good way to do that. Okay, so online arbitrage is exactly the same thing as retail arbitrage, except it's online, as the name indicates. So you're going to the sites that you would normally go to, the stores that you would normally go to, and you're trying to look for clearance and discount items. You're flipping to your Amazon tab and you're comparing the prices back and forth to see if there's a profit, to see if you can make any type of margin. Walgreens, CVS, all of them, Walgreens used to have what was called drugstore.com and beauty.com. A lot of people, a lot of resellers were using those. I heard they closed it. I don't know if that is for sure because I haven't used it in a long time, but a lot of resellers were ordering 150 of the same thing, and then you had all this competition on the Amazon platform. Therein lies the problem with online arbitrage, because everybody has access to the same products faster, and time is money. All the common ones, you know, like your Walgreens or like your Walmart. I like government deals, which is like a government liquidation. Everybody knows that I like auctions. And this is auctionzip.com. You can find auctions by you, or you can attend online auctions. There's all kinds of sites. I mean, the internet is limitless almost, right? So you can do your own research and find different places. On my channel, you can see here, if you do a search for online arbitrage, the videos will come up. What is that face? Oh my gosh. Okay, but you can look at the video for like Tractor Supply, because that was the example I used in that video. A lot of things that can help you with the profit margin. So once you start researching, you start finding your own favorite sites to source inventory from, you can then use these little tricks that I'm going to teach you to make sure that you're maximizing on getting the discounts that you can. If you get steeper discounts, then your profit margin increases. And that is the whole problem with online arbitrage. So if we can help identify and correct that problem, then it can make our online arbitrage, you know, very successful. Here's a list of what you should be doing, little tips and tricks to make sure that you're maximizing how cheap you can get a product. So here's another list for you. These are Google Chrome extensions, because that's what I use, is Google Chrome. And I don't know, I'm assuming they work on the other web browsers, but this is a list of the extensions that have been helpful to me. I have two kind of up and coming that I'm looking really closely into. This was brought up to me from one of the EG team members, and I hadn't heard of it. So I was like, no, wait a minute, how does she know about this before I know about this? But I promised her that I would check it out. And the more I check it out, the more I like it. This is just a TechCrunch.com article on it. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Paribus. But essentially, when you're looking through this, it just helps you know when the prices are changing on the e-commerce sites. And if you start to read some of these articles, it'll give you more information. I know we're running out of time here, but I really like so far what I see on this. If you have any knowledge about it, please put it down in the comments, because I'm trying to learn about this program. The second one that's up and coming is this point of sale software. Now, point of sale softwares can be very helpful here in the e-commerce world. And I've heard good things about this one.
Make quick and easy sales even when you're offline. Number 2, analyze your shop in detail to make informed decisions. Number 3, manage your inventory to optimize organization.
So again, if you have any knowledge about this, please let me know. Hey guys, that was a lot of information in a short amount of time. I hope it was useful to you. You're going to be seeing a lot more videos on online arbitrage in this playlist. So go ahead and subscribe if you haven't, and make sure that you get all the future videos. Until next video, guys.
Bye, YouTube!